Welcome to Savidge Kitchen. So happy to be here and to welcome my guest, the head rum runner, chief bootlegger of Shipwreck Rum, Zach Brinley. Welcome.
Thank you, Jessica. It's an honor to be here. I'm excited for our happy hour and for sipping some rum and making cocktails together.
I am so excited too. We've been talking about this for a little while. I'm so happy we were able to connect. As you know, I love your rums, the ones that I've tried so far. I'm a big fan. So before we do anything, I think we need a cocktail.
Let's do it.
Okay, so I was very pushy and instructed you the other day to go buy a bottle of Trader Vic's.
This is pressure. So you're the cocktail expert, and now I'm making the cocktail? Or
you know, the irony is I'm actually not a cocktail expert, whatsoever, but we'll go with that.
You are a cocktail expert. I love your videos. I've got my father watching them. They're really well done.
Well, it's just so much fun, especially when you have fun spirits to work with. You can't go wrong.
Thanks.
So yeah, we're gonna do.
I love our rum as well. So we're doing, which drink are we doing again?
We are going to do a coconut macadamia daiquiri, and this is using your Shipwreck coconut rum, which is out freaking rageous. And then it's also using Trader Vic's macadamia nut liqueur. There are a couple different brands that make macadamia nut liqueurs. I went
to the store today, Jessica. I went to the store and got this, and I a little tease before. It's delicious.
Would I steer you wrong? No.
Yeah. No, not at all. All right. So we got those two, and then the last ingredient, which I know,
a little bit of lime juice.
Is the lime juice, and I've been squeezing limes here. I'm trying to figure out how many limes does it take to make a full ounce. What's the answer on that one?
You know, Educated Barfly did a video on this recently, and I want to say it's something like a lime and a half or close to something like that.
Depends on how good you are at juicing, right?
Yeah, right. And if you there's this big debate, if you roll the lime, if you heat the lime up, do you get more juice?
And exactly, and how big your limes are.
Right. So yeah, just a little.
All right, some ice in there.
Yep. I'm excited to try this.
You do the coconut rum first.
Yep. Well, I mean, there's no rules, but yeah.
Yeah, right. Yes.
Coconut rum first.
I just go a little extra. I go a little heavy since it's my own rum sometimes. But
yeah, I noticed that you free pour, and I'm not mad at it.
And I think you'll appreciate this. I do have the cocktail shaker, but as far as measuring cup or the 1 ounce pour, I have the 1 ounce cups, which I'm sure all of you have seen with in-store tastings before. So this is exactly 1 ounce.
Excellent.
There has not been as many in-store tastings this year. All right. 1 ounce.
And I've already got friends in the chat. Jen Jager, hello. Ann, home bartender, hello. Trevor, who is a huge fan of yours.
Oh, Trev Rose, what's up, buddy?
Yeah. Trevor, I'm jealous because
1.25 of the macadamia, right?
Of the macadamia, yep. Trevor has access to all of your flavors.
Let's see if my lime's got 1 ounce. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Oh, it's so close. Damn. All right, I'll just squeeze the rest of them there.
Jen says her limes are always dry. How's that possible? You're in Florida.
You got to squeeze harder. That's what you got to do.
Use all those muscles.
I really do.
Alpha Mix Bar.
Jessica, you probably find I really love fresh lime juice and even bitters as far as the perfect ingredients to counteract the sweetness, right?
I absolutely agree. And what's nice about this, it doesn't, since your rum is a bit sweet and the macadamia liqueur is sweet, it doesn't need sugar. It doesn't need any added sweeteners.
Okay. Look at this. Two sides of the country right here. See, it's 5 o'clock in Arizona. It's 8 o'clock here on the East Coast. I've waited until 8 o'clock for my drink here.
I know. You've been very patient. I appreciate it.
All right. So I was looking for the perfect glass for this. I have the big Shipwreck snifter.
Oh, I love it.
One or I'm using the big one.
I think you need the big one.
My wife was like, "That's not a daiquiri glass," but it works.
Hey, any drink that a daiquiri is in is a daiquiri glass.
Yeah. This here.
The flower bar is here. Hello, friends.
I'm using this one too. This does not look as pretty as yours.
I'm sure it's just fine. I'm really happy with this.
I don't have the dried lime. I
don't have any right now either.
Usually, I mean, maybe not in the daiquiri, but I always use fresh nutmeg and a dash of bitters too on top of a cocktail.
That's sort of like a what is it? Is it a painkiller that use the nutmeg also? Yeah. That's a really good
nutmeg. And I find if you're in the Caribbean, and I'm sure some of your fans know, when you're on vacation or on the catamaran booze cruise, it's always the bitters with the nutmeg on top. Yes. It makes it taste like a true Caribbean rum punch.
It's a vacation.
I've seen so many tourists who are like, "What is that you're sprinkling on top of my drink?" Because it's the actual nutmeg. They're not used to.
Because fresh nutmeg too, it tastes different than like the stuff that's already ground up. It's way better. Well, cheers, my friends.
Cheers. Savidge Kitchen. Oh, that is fantastic.
Isn't that good?
That really is good.
Yeah, I telling you, this is one of my favorite. I have to admit, I actually, until I made this cocktail, came up with this, I'd never made a daiquiri before. Literally. I'm not a bartender. A lot of drinks are new to me, which is why I make up my own cocktails. Because like, I don't care. There are no rules. I just make whatever tastes good.
It's your classic cocktail. I'm almost surprised, but I guess it's there are so many good cocktails to start with, and but you just think of the different variations of daiquiris, from the Hemingway to my wife was saying daiquiri. That's not like daiquiri I'm used to. She's used to the frozen daiquiri, the crushed. Yeah,
this is that classic 3-ingredient cocktail. Yeah. I love it. All right, well, so
this is the way to start. Usually I'm doing these distributor Zoom calls all year long, and we don't start with the cocktail. Usually it's right into just get as much information as you can get out as possible.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
Yeah.
That's just definitely not the way to go. Let's see with Trevor here. Rob's Home Bar is here. Hi guys, thank you so much for stopping in. This is so nice to see. I know that.
Before it gets too late. Sorry, Jessica. Before it gets too late, I'm supposed to give a shout out to my son, Finn, who's at home right now. It's getting close to his bedtime, so I had to give him a quick shout out. So,
all right, Finn, make sure you go to bed on time.
Love
Cheers,
you, buddy.
Finn.
Go to bed. 10 minutes. All right.
Well, are there any stories that Finn would really like to hear then in these 10 minutes?
Stories that Finn would like to hear. I would say the one that he'd probably like to hear the most is about the St. Kitts drunk monkeys.
Oh, all right. Well, hold on. Let's back up.
Yeah.
For those who are unaware, your rum is made in St. Kitts. You actually distill in St. Kitts, right?
And then St. Kitts, we distill, we age, we infuse, and we bottle 75% of our product down in St. Kitts.
Wow.
We have a little bit that's with the coconut cream that we've done upstate New York. That's a little different, but
okay. And what flavors do you have available?
I love them all like children. We have 8 types of rum. And if you would have told me in the beginning that you're going to have 8 types of rum, I would have thought you're crazy. And it's not like we were trying to do that in barrage salesmen in stores. It was because we started this with a rum shop on the cruise port. And when people are getting off a cruise ship, everyone has different taste buds, and nothing stopping you in the Caribbean where there's really no rules or regulations. You could come up with a chocolate rum tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Is that next? I hope so.
We did have it for like a day. You find when you have something and all it takes is a few fans to love it. If you release it, it's hard to ever take it back because you have to sell it. But yes, I'm jumping ahead to St. Kitts, but as some of you guys may know, it's my father and I. We're Caribbean. We've been Caribbean rum runners now for nearly 2 decades, which is boggles my mind. I say I used to be carded going into the liquor store or the bar, and now it's I'm definitely not getting carded with the gray hairs anymore. We've been doing it for over 20 years, and it's still my father and I. We still have a team of about 8 people in St. Kitts, and I mean, it's been definitely a weird year with the pandemic, but luckily,
how has it affected your business?
In a lot of ways, it's been great because the
more people are drinking.
Consumption / self-medication of the United States of America has helped us stay more than afloat. And but there's been definitely a lot of tough things to swallow as far as losing so many on-premise accounts that might not come back.
Sure.
Luckily, I think the fact that we're more of an outdoor summertime drink where a lot of places had outdoor seating, no matter when it was. It was like trying to get people outdoor. Even the craft beer bars were trying to have rum buckets and do something outside. But the biggest part has been that St. Kitts tourism and selling to cruise ships has totally stopped.
Right.
And it makes me think of every travel destination that's you have to take a boat or a plane to.
Right.
I'm sure they're all hoping to come back, and hopefully by the fall, people are going back to St. Kitts. So if you're thinking of a vacation out there, look at St. Kitts and Nevis. Beautiful place.
Saying our next happy hour should be in St. Kitts.
Yes.
That's what I'm hearing. Okay.
Yes.
Just so we're on the same
page. Kitts all the time, but if you call the main number, it's just me. I'll pick up. I'm here making sure we ship containers on time. Yeah. But I do feel happy that at least we tried. We were one of the maybe bright spots for the island that we were still producing and shipping 1 or 2 containers off the island a month. So,
that's amazing. So then have sales been up then across? I mean, I know they've been up among my friends. So I'm assuming that like sales have been up in the U.S. Since COVID has hit, even though these vacation destinations it's tricky right now.
Yeah, sales in the U.S. are up. Really, kind of across the board. It's almost like 25 to 30%. Even Western Canada, it's almost it's almost like
Trevor.
If you can't go to St. Kitts, this is cheaper than a vacation right here.
Oh my God! Yeah, this is a vacation in a glass. Like I feel like I say that all the time, and my friends are tired of me talking about this coconut rum. But I'm like, no, really, it's just that good. Like, it's delicious.
It's very, very rich. It gives you a nice mouthfeel to it.
Okay.
I mean, we've definitely pushed the envelope on flavored rum. I mean, I think
let's talk about that a little bit, because like I know there's a lot of in a couple online groups where there's like big debate between flavored rums, liqueurs, infused rums. I know there's like ABV requirements. So let's talk about, because like when people think coconut rum, they often think of that white bottle, and like I know you don't want to say anything bad about them, but I'll say it. I just don't think Malibu is very good personally. It's fine, but when you taste it compared to something like this, you're like, oh, there's a big difference here. You can taste it immediately. So what is that? Like, what am I tasting? What is that difference?
Real coconut and a lot more coconut, and 72 proof where they're 42 proof. So it's almost like. It's made to be a mixer, and I give them credit. I give them credit for basically starting a category. You know? Like just like every other spirit, craft beer, you name it, everything has kind of had a move up to quality, a step up.
Right.
And I think when we started, the idea of craft or high-end spirits really didn't exist. We knew that there were a lot of rum shops through the islands. My dad had a business there since I was 7. It fell through in 2001. We kind of had the idea to do this. And it was the combination of selling to cruise passengers, trying to give them something at 10 in the morning that they would actually take a sip of.
See, my friends, we'd be like, yeah, okay.
I know. We go on cruises, but the majority of on cruises are kind of like our parents, our grandparents. Like, I mean, it's
normal humans. Yeah.
When do you have time to go on a cruise? I mean, it's a mix, but in general, there's more, not as many young people on cruises, and sipping a straight rum for probably 95% of people in the morning. I could do it, but a lot of people probably can't do it. So it was that the combination of knowing we had to have something that had a taste to it, and not everyone was a rum fan. And then we also knew there were a lot of cool little restaurants in the French part of St. Martin that would serve like vanilla infused rums.
Oh.
And we thought that it was the combination of that, and then also remembering my guy friends from college who would secretly drink the white bottle under the table and say,
"Oh, they didn't want to be seen drinking it."
I'm like, well, I mean, it's good. I'd not say it's good, but it's tasty. I mean, compared to college when everything is not so good. It's just, I understand why you like it, especially back when there's no competition. But it's just interesting that there was a whole demographic that liked coconut and coconut rum that didn't want to be seen with that bottle. So that was kind of the combination of why we tried to do something that would be with real natural flavor, higher proof, so you get kind of your proof worth, your dollars worth per drink.
Yeah.
And, we actually thought when we first started out that there was a lot of coconut rums. There was a lot of coconut rums that were out there through the islands. And we thought, you know what, let's do something different, kind of like high-end niche. And we thought vanilla rum, because so many rums have vanilla notes to them with the barrel. Let's use real Madagascar vanilla.
Yeah.
So the vanilla was the first one we did. Maybe because we were trying to we thought if we start with coconut, you're just, I don't know, not a sellout, but you know what I mean? Like you're trying to do something.
You want to be different. I get it. You don't want to do what everybody else is doing. I totally get that. Yes.
So that was it. And of course we started doing it. And then the idea was just to do it in St. Kitts. And it was a cool business, something to keep us going there, to support the island. Tourism was growing. And then people come back from their cruise and they start begging you for it in the United States. And you think, oh, how hard can this be? Look how many stores and bars there are.
And so how hard was it?
And then we brought it up and it was like, I think I had one container of vanilla rum. So say it's 1,000 cases of vanilla rum. And I was like, Dad, don't worry. We'll sell this in like 2 weeks, a month. I'm ready to go. And then a year later, I'm still selling it. I'm thinking, every day I was like, what am I doing? I need to find someone to buy another case tomorrow. And I would walk into these stores and they'd be like, look at me like I had two heads. Like, who are you? Do you make this in your bathtub? And why should I buy it? Like, and then I got my dad doing the collection calls, but I think they loved my passion and they knew it did have a good taste to it. So that, you come in and sell it yourself. And it was kind of off the races. We had 100 accounts and kind of realized the value of distribution and how hard it really was to break into the market.
To get that. I mean, I got to say, as soon as I'm excited to taste some of the other flavors, but as soon as you taste that coconut, it's instantly like, oh, this is special. Like this is really different. So I can imagine on those like sales calls, like you just got to get to taste it, like it'll just taste it. That you're good. You're golden.
Everyone wonders why my dad and I are always smiling. And we were smiling before we did rum, but really on these calls, when you sip the coconut rum, you're like, man, you almost forget how good it is. It's so ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
It's silky smooth. It really is maybe the best coconut liquid in the world. I'm a little biased.
I wouldn't say this about a lot of things, but I really think that, and you can just drink this by itself, neat or on ice. Like it's that good. It really is. And like, there's I can't think of another rum I would say that about, unless you're doing something that's like some crazy barrel aged, ridiculous pure rum that was in a barrel floated over here from England by some, that's a different story.
Yeah, and that was the original reason why we thought, well, how do we break into this industry, and how do we obviously sell to tourists off cruise ships? And you can't come out the 25-year-old tomorrow, Right. So we've been aging stuff. We have some 7-year in barrels and stuff like that. That's the goal in the future is to come up with some higher end stuff. And I mean, I almost think that we have the 4-year age spice rum, which you have now, Jessica.
Which I'm so excited. So I got a FedEx box today.
I know. Don't tell Classico in Arizona. Exactly. But you know what? It's fine because you know what? It should be at Total Wines all over.
Yeah, I'm going to yell at Classico in Arizona. I hope they're watching. I'm having a problem getting Shipwreck.
If she's watching, she's probably watching. She's trying to put it out there.
I have been to 3 Total Wines in the Valley and talked to managers being like, please.
We do love Total Wine. West Coast distribution's getting better and better. It's not the same thing. I mean, the bottle's got to go a long way from St. Kitts up to the East Coast to get out there. But hey, now we're selling in Alaska and Australia.
I don't mind flying, just saying.
Yeah, I saw someone said, "Do you need a passport to get to St. Kitts?" You do need a passport, and
St. Kitts was a French colony?
it used to be British, and then it gained its independence in 1983. So they're the smallest country in the Western Hemisphere, the 8th smallest in the world. Anyone know the smallest in the world? My son's listening to this. It's Vatican City, which is anyway. There's a lot of small countries in Europe, but St. Kitts and Nevis are the smallest country in the Western Hemisphere.
Wow.
40,000 people. We have a seat in the UN. We just got our first traffic light 2 years ago.
Wow.
There are more monkeys than people. And
so monkeys. Let's go to the monkey story.
Yes, the monkeys.
Yeah, and let me say hello real quick. Damo from Damo's Art World is here. Damo he's taking a tiny little break from YouTube right now, but he paints on his YouTube channel, and it's awesome. So for those of you watching and new, go say hello to Damo. Check out his channel. Super, super cool.
Very cool.
Monkeys, St. Kitts.
Yes. I always start by saying we take no responsibility for the drunk monkeys on St. Kitts. If you Google it, I am not giving them rum. They're stealing it. And they like how our small 1 ounce cups are perfect for their little paws.
Oh, they can like
right here. So we'd be on the cruise port giving out tastes, and a lot of locals would have them in cute little diapers to take pictures for $2 a picture. And then they'd grab they grab the little shot and then shoot it back. And I was trying to figure out how much 1 ounce is for a small monkey. It's gotta be more, but the video on Google, it's got like they come down, they grab your drink from a lot of the beach shacks. So if you leave your
do they actually drink it?
Yeah, they take it and they just use the straw or throw it back.
Oh my god!
So they're falling over. And, it's not a major problem. I think the number of drinking monkeys to teetotaler monkeys are pretty humans, they say. But I did think there was a time that I thought, now there's so many spirits named Monkey. I mean, monkey this, monkey that.
Monkey, sure. Yeah.
I thought about how St. Kitts has the whole monkey thing, how classic it would be if it was totally fine and I took good care of him. If I brought a monkey to the States and he was my assistant to help make sales. So he'd whip it out and he'd pour the little tastes. I mean, that would be this was back in the day when I was going door to door, and I still do. But if I was going door to door and
with a monkey,
the traveling salesman with a monkey on my shoulder.
It's very Ross from Friends. Remember when he had a monkey?
Yes. I always think of like Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. And they have a monkey.
Dr. Jones, yes.
Dr. Jones.
Dr. Jones, I love it.
So if you Google
how aggressive they are.
You'll see him falling over. And I do not have a monkey in the United States as of now.
I wonder if they have a preference, like if they like the vanilla versus the coconut. Like, are they picky?
They like all of our rums, whatever they can get their hands on, their paws on.
Well, I'm excited to. So you were very kind and sent me a couple of presents that I begged for.
Yes. As you get into that, I'll even say too, because you started the question, and I totally, like a politician, I went off and talked about the liqueur. My wife says laughs how I say it. Liqueur versus spirit conversation. Yes. Rum, flavor rum versus liqueur. That we are. It is the endless debate of where do we sit, and I think the honest answer is that we're right on the border, and that we're pushing the envelope, and that I think there was a few states where they asked about it, as far as some states, like in Massachusetts, you could sell liqueurs, but not spirits. And it came down to the fact that it had to be unaged to be a liqueur in that state. And in some definitions on Wikipedia, it says typically an unaged spirit is a liqueur, and ours is slightly aged at 2 years. So that's just one definition. So it's honestly like it's like in the eye of the beholder. And
Well, that's just in the U.S. too. I imagine, like, what about when you get into Canada or Australia? Like, what happens then?
Well, we sell in Australia and Canada now, and there's no problem selling as a flavor rum. I did see that there's more rules about like whiskeys. If you do any type of fruits or anything that's sweeter, it has to be whiskey liqueur, but not with rum. So it's a very gray area of like what's a flavor rum, what's liqueur. But yeah, we use natural coconut, natural Madagascar vanilla, and it has a rich flavor to it. But it is 72 proof, and it is aged 2 years. So
that's interesting. What about the? I'm really curious about the mango too. I lived in South Florida for a very large portion of my life, and so like it's the tropics, and like that mango flavor to me is like very like the coconut, super tropical. Is that as like silky smooth as the coconut?
I would say that our blender Michael says that there's certain flavors that sit in your taste buds smoother than others. The vanilla and coconut definitely just round out like the taste profile. I would think that the mango is delicious, and there are many people that it's their number one flavor, number one favorite product. It's probably our number one for cocktails, for mango mojitos. But as far as smoothness, it has more of a tropical zest, like a pop to it. Okay. It's a Brazilian mango that we use, and I guess it would depend on your own taste buds and your tolerance and what gives you a kick when you have a sip. But it's compared to the vanilla and coconut, it's not as silky smooth at first.
So the texture is a little bit different. Okay.
Yeah. But the ones you have are fantastic. You see,
I'm super.
You can't get right now, Jessica. That's the thing, right?
I know. I always want what I can't get. This is my problem in life. What I did get yesterday though was the coconut cream, and I've had this sitting in my refrigerator because I saw that you guys recommend sipping on it chilled. So I think I actually want to open this up and taste it. Because clearly I love coconut.
Wow, this is your first taste on air?
Literally I'm opening the seal right now.
Is this like the unboxing that everybody loves?
Yeah. What's so funny because I started this YouTube channel, my tasting videos, I started doing those because I was like, God, like I'm very busy. I run a business. I was like, I don't have time to record content, but I needed to taste some alcohol. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to record tasting them. And it's turned into a thing. Yeah. So I'm not mad at it. Let's see here. Oh, it's just a really good sound.
I know. Having the cork in there and the painted bottle. My dad's like, are you sure you know what you're doing painting this bottle? Because you want to keep the dairy cream from sunlight.
Yes.
But it is completely shelf stable in there. And this is the main one that we do up in upstate New York, that we ship up our rum and our natural coconut, the same coconut as in the coconut rum. It's 15%, 30 proof, so it's lower. And it is cream liqueur.
What is it real dairy in this? Like what goes into this?
It's real dairy. And we kind of partnered up with a farmer co-op called Upstate Niagara. And it's bottled in Rochester. And when we first thought about doing this, it was, I think having rum, there's a lot of people that give you suggestions. And, you should do a rum cream. You should do rum cream. I love rum cream. I'm thinking, St. Kitts is small.
Right.
So we had 6 guys at that point. I'm thinking the cows are skinny. Am I going to get dairy cream? And now I have three kids. I'm like, the milk's going every week. I'm thinking, how am I going to get that much dairy? This is a mess. It's a mess.
Right.
So, of course, you go to trade shows through the years, and I met some guys that had like a dairy cream business, and they were at the Spirit Trade Show, and they were already kind of in the business of knowing what to do. So we ship it up. We ship it up in ISO tanks. We do about two batches a year, maybe more.
That's it?
Yeah. So it's 2 batches a year, but we buy, you're saying we're buying like somewhere between 10 to 20,000 gallons of dairy cream a year. So
oh my God. All right. I gotta
taste a lot of cows, but it's shelf stable and it's to die for. It's
yeah, it's really good. Whoa.
It's like coconut heaven. It's coconut heaven.
I'm gonna need way more of this.
This is the kind of product that your grandparents would love, your kids would love. It's almost dangerous. It's dangerous.
It's so interesting because to taste it, like Oh my God. Like when you first taste it, you don't taste the alcohol, but then you feel like that warmth that comes with rum. So I feel like you only feel the warmth after like the initial sip. That first taste is just like creamy coconut dessert. Oh my God, it's so like that bell has been rung now. I almost wish I didn't know. It's really good.
I love that the coconut comes through. You know, it really
does,
through.
But it's not overpowering. It's like it comes through, but it's also different in flavor than your coconut rum. It's a very different quality.
Just the having the dairy, having the proof a little lower. I know that we came out with it. You think, and this is when rum chata came out in a big way.
Oh, this is better than
they're a cinnamon horchata, right? And so of course all of our partners were like, "Oh, are you doing a rum cream? Or are you gonna do a horchata?" And I'm thinking, we're not gonna do another horchata and compete with them. And I thought of how so many fans in the Caribbean and anyone of Puerto Rican descent said that I use your rum and I mix it in my grandmother's coquito. So it's basically a Puerto Rican Caribbean, almost the version of an eggnog. We do eggnog around Christmas, and in Puerto Rico they do a coquito, and like every grandma's got her own recipe, and it's coconut milk, rum, cinnamon, miscellaneous exotic spices, and so it's a simplified coquito basically.
So are there any spices in this? Because I was just thinking like some ground nutmeg on top of this.
Oh, exactly. It's almost putting your spices on top. Put cinnamon on top, put nutmeg on top. We try to keep it as simple as we could, just to make sure that
this is fantastic.
Consistent.
Oh my God.
It's pretty good for making simple cocktails for painkillers. I would say with like a just crushed ice. I call it pina colada, but there's no pina in there. It's like a colada. You could almost just put if we had a pineapple rum, or what a lot of places do, they use plantation pineapple. I know it's a competitor, but I have a lot of respect for plantation rum. So plantation pineapple with our coconut cream, and it's like
I have a bottle of that.
I
feel like I'm gonna have to try that because that sounds incredible. Yeah. Are there plans to make a pineapple shipwreck?
I don't know. What do you think? I don't know. I mean, I think it's we've at this point, you know, the other part of the pandemic that's been a challenge. Well, the demand's fantastic. We're keeping up with it, but the supply of just getting bottles from, just because demand's up everywhere.
Right.
And then cardboard for the box for our shipper cartons, because everything's coming in Amazon to your front door.
Right. Guilty.
Plus the fact of just trying to keep up with the growing demand. I would love to do it. I look back through time, how we started all these flavors, and that pineapple really would be a perfect flavor for pina coladas and so many cocktails. But maybe down the road, we'll do an 80s.
Well, yeah, you guys have a lot that you're doing, and you're doing it well. So I feel like there's no need to hit every flavor. You know.
I always have, because I see my neighbors who are spirit fans, cocktail fans, and then I also have I know the salesmen, I know the stores and the distributors, and there's always that demand versus supply where people in the trade feel like there's just so much stuff, but then the consumers are like, "What's new? What do you got that's new?" I'm interested, you know. Yeah. So constantly that going back and forth, but. Yeah, right now in a flux year, you're just trying to keep everything straight and not run out. That's my job. Don't run out of rum. Don't run out of money.
Please don't run out of rum. Please, we'll help you with the money part because we keep buying the rum.
Don't run out of rum. You're right. Yeah.
Just don't run out of rum.
Okay, we won't run out of rum. We'll make sure kids keep shipping.
It's like Pirates of the Caribbean. Where's all the rum gone?
I know, right? I know. And that's the thing. We were talking before about how cool rum is and how it's almost become you think about it.
There's lore to it. There's a mystique. Yeah.
It comes from a beautiful place. You have this whole lore of of pirates and beautiful Caribbean beaches. And then you have the fact of, I'm not saying the shelf price point, but compared to like how whiskeys, bourbons, vodkas, you name it, are just like up there. And it's almost like we were saying, like, how did what happened before I arrived? What was happening? How did the market get so low? When I first started out, we were doing our best to aim for like $5 more than the competition, which really was Malibu, Cruzan, Bacardi. And we were like 18, 19 on the East Coast, $19. And everyone else was like $12 to $16. I'm thinking, oh my God. The vodkas are selling for 40 something. The rums are like in the low teens. And the vodkas are coming from like their distilled nothingness, not age, coming from like some Siberia. And we're coming from a beautiful place. I don't even get it. No one's going to Siberia for their vacation. Am I wrong?
No, that sounds like a punishment. No.
But I mean, there are a lot of good rums now that have the price point. I mean, the Diplomaticos, the Zaccapas, the Zayas. There's good rums now. The market's going up, just like everything else. But
so one of the things that we talked about the other day that I found really, really interesting, getting back to the idea of bourbons and whiskeys and how, like, in the States, there's just so many, you know, like it's a very American thing, American bourbon. You know, we think about that all the time. And rums, there was this sort of like drought of rum for a long time. And now in recent decades and years, there's more and more of it. And one of the things that you said to me the other day, it just clicked to me, and you're like, well, there were these bans on certain things. So tell me more.
It was the Revolutionary War, basically, right? I mean, after the Tea Party, you know, molasses, this is like the triangle trade right here. And that basically rum and molasses were one of those things that they couldn't get. So how do you make good booze? Basically from the fields of grain. You're basically making rye and whiskey and what you can grow in the United States.
Right.
And you can grow rum and sugarcane or molasses, which is sugarcane. You know, it's all from sugar, basically. I guess you can make rum from sort of things, but it's almost all from sugar. And 95% of rums that we drink are molasses. The other 5% are like the rum agricole, sugarcane rums, like the French rums. So basically whiskey and then bourbon kind of became like the American drink because that's what you had on American soil.
Sure.
Until we had Florida, I guess. And then, so maybe that was one of the things where rum was not as much of a native product to the United States versus whiskey. And maybe vodka was just was pretty mixable because it was just a neutral base.
It's so neutral, right? Yeah. That's the thing. Like rums, I feel like rums and gins are similar in that there's so much nuance depending on what herbs and spices you decide to create with, you know, like there's just a lot of flavor there. So one of my questions too is, so you're producing St. Kitts, does all the sugar cane then come from St. Kitts?
No. St. Kitts.
It's too tiny, right? Like, yeah.
St. Kitts is very small, 68 square miles. You could drive around in about 45 minutes in a very windy road. Wow. You probably run around it. So we do try to source everything from St. Kitts and as local as we possibly can. So we bring in a lot from other islands like Barbados. So it's all Caribbean molasses that we bring in. But yeah, I mean, we realized that in the beginning too, that it was almost like, why are we trying to grow so much? It's almost like here you start out small and then you have success and you keep trying to grow bigger and bigger and, you know, get more molasses and produce more and get more barrels. And I don't know if it's the combination of the competitive drive from being an American or it's the idea that we're having so much fun. Let's try to pay for the next marketing thing.
Sure. We want to do. You want to be at that place where you're, you know, A, sustainable, which you are, but B, scalable, right? Yeah.
You almost need that. You need to keep having successes if you want to keep coming out with cool products.
Right.
We're lucky to have St. Kitts, and we're trying to even this year, hopefully not letting the cat out of the bag here. There's too many people in St. Kitts on this. But we are kind of looking into ways that we can invest more into the island. as far as a bigger kind of a bigger distillery tourist center that we could do something like that.
Is there a tasting room in St. Kitts?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And no. So there is this Fairview Plantation that does daily rum tours for us. We don't own it. We give them samples. They buy the rum for, so basically they're running it for us, and they're really great. There's a great team, Doreen and all her girls. Like, they do a great job. And then for the longest time, we did tours at our place. We also have VIP tours, but the problem is when you're growing a lot and you have 6 to 8 guys and girls, that you can't produce enough, and you can't keep up with demand and also have people from the tours coming in. This year we probably could have done it, but there was nobody there.
Right.
So we could have had a tours for a few people that got through quarantine, right? But in general, if you're St. Kitts, when we first started the rum company, my dad first got there in 1986 when I was 7 years old. There was nobody there. There was like, I don't know, maybe like there was a few flights a day. I remember arriving and the plane had like chickens on the plane and had the beans separating the pilot from the back. I mean, it was pretty memorable. And there was like one restaurant on the island.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it was pretty wild. I mean, I give Dad a lot of respect. Mom and Dad. Mom, you too. Both you guys, a lot of respect for, going to a cool place like that when I was 7 years old to start another business. They were in. Yeah,
that takes a lot of vision, a lot of chutzpah.
They started a semiconductor manufacturing business doing thermistors in the mid-'80s. And he was the largest employer on the island in the 90s. And then when it kind of fell through down there, that's where the idea of what else can we do on this cool island to support when you're laying hundreds of people off and you see tourism coming.
Right. And you want to see what you can do to keep supporting those people for sure. Yeah.
So that's kind of what we're thinking of right now. We're trying to push through and do something cool in a tough year when we realize that it's kind of like a pause for St. Kitts tourism. What can we do right now that, we'll be ready for the future if we keep growing like we're growing? So I think I got off track there a little bit. I forget we were talking about before that.
Well, it's exciting to hear like plans for the future. It's exciting to know that you guys you're in it. You want to keep growing both in St. Kitts and here in the States with your distribution. Do you find, I know vanilla was your original, and is that your number one seller? I know the coconut obviously is very popular. Like, what trends are you noticing?
Well, you basically hit it. Our top 4 of the 8. I should give them all due respect now, right? Vanilla rum, which it's our first one. It's one that I don't actively push as much. Well, when we were selling that much, just because it's different. The coconut and the spice have more a competitive set. So I guess I was pushing that more, but the vanilla rum has just taken off for us. So dark vanilla, Madagascar vanilla.
To me, this tastes like, so I cook a lot. I like to cook. And vanilla, to me, vanilla is tricky because I think when people imagine vanilla, they imagine that super sweet baked good vanilla, not actual vanilla bean vanilla. And this tastes like vanilla bean.
It is.
Vanilla. It just tastes like very high quality vanilla. Yeah, it's really good.
And I'm almost astounded at the vanilla sales right now.
Really?
And I'm asking you guys, how are you drinking it out there? Because right now it's just flying for us. And I don't know if it's just a trend into dark rums. And, I mean, you name it, the Kraken and Captain Black. I mean, and here you have, during the pandemic, here is a black rum on the shelf. And then you taste it and you're like, wow, that is not what I expected. And it's delicious.
Yeah. How do you drink this? What do you put this in?
Chill. I just have it. I've had chilled straight with a lime.
Yeah.
I have it chilled straight with a lime. I think there are a lot of cocktails. I'm sure a lot of fans just have vanilla rum and Coke because that's what they're thinking of. And if you love it, that's fine. That's fine with me. What
does Trevor say here? In a daiquiri with some passion fruit syrup. Ooh. Okay.
Even with club soda, it tastes like a cream soda. It's delicious.
Oh,
there are a lot of things you can do with it. Upscale and then simple drinkable. I think during the pandemic, we had a big thing with really just almost like the all natural hard seltzer you can make yourself. Like basically the club coconut rum, club soda, and a lime. You can do club soda, vanilla, and a lime. And then mango. Almost like instead of buying the can, have a good bottle, use club soda and a lime, and you have your all natural hard seltzer.
And you can mix your own sweetness then. I hate those pre-blended seltzers. I think they're disgusting. I'm not a big fan.
So the vanilla's up there, but coconuts are number one. But it's a close.
Okay.
Close. And if anything, I think during the pandemic, it still stayed up there, but the on-premise being closed hurt for a little bit because it's huge on-premise and off. The vanilla is mostly off-premise. So those are our top two probably. And then right behind that is the coconut cream and our aged spice. The aged spice was for a long time our lead horse for sure. And I know that there are a lot of there's a lot of spice rums out there.
Yeah. Yes.
Even when we first started doing it, we thought, well, we know it's a big part of the market just because of the captain. And like, how can we make ourselves different? And that's when we thought that, all right, the guy who's drinking Captain Morgan is pretty brand loyal, but he's also drinking whiskeys, bourbons, stuff straight. And he's drinking Captain and Coke when he goes out. So we thought about 4-year aged spice rum, using the same vanilla that we use for the vanilla rum, but just not as much vanilla. And have you sipped it yet? Do you have the bottle?
I still have it. Should I open this and try it?
Yeah, unless you were planning on not opening it.
I mean, will
right now. No. So it's I will say it's pretty cool in this bottle too. Is that you get a picture of my pops in the back, my dad, and then inside the label, there's a message from the crew of the ship. You have to look in the light or finish the bottle and look in. And
both are possible. Yes.
That was the idea.
There's a message in the bottle. Yeah, you actually can see it. Yeah. Yes. Okay.
It says, I'm not giving anything away here. Alas, if you're reading this, it's too late. Our beloved ship is beyond repair. We're off the coast of St. Christopher. Find General Prescott. Tell him we did our very best. Rule Britannia. 26 January 1782, Lieutenant A. Barclay. So there's basically during the Revolutionary War, St. Kitts was a British island. The British and the French were fighting for St. Kitts. This was back when sugar was the oil of the 1700s. And there's a ship that went down like 500 yards off the coast. And when we started the company, they had found the shipwreck. So we kind of dated it back, and the names are right. Made the message up a little bit. People are kind of like, is that the real message? I'm like, we didn't find the note. All right, we didn't find the note.
You're not Jacques Cousteau.
No, the names are right, the date's right, And Dad was like, I wonder if the stuff they were drinking tasted like this. I'm like, it did not taste like this. Did not.
There's no way. What's the
British Trail, maybe at the top.
Rot gut. That's very different. This smells incredible. Like it smells. You can smell the sweetness. Yeah. You can smell the spice a little bit. Yeah. This reminds me of like it should be on a rum cake. Yeah, this smells
it
really
does have a rum cake note to it for sure. It's got a little more kick to it because it's 4-year aged. It's
you get that ethanol alcohol smell off of it. Like it smells like rum, but it has a sweetness to it.
Yeah, we're trying to go for you get it. Shipwreck on the rocks. Wreck on the rocks. Who needs captain?
Oh my god, that is so good. Oh, I did not expect that.
Kind of ridiculous.
Wow, what is that? You can taste vanilla, caramel.
Vanilla, caramel, a touch of nutmeg still.
Yeah.
A little clove, little orange peel.
Orange peel. There, yes, a little bit of citrus.
The barrel itself, right, is maybe orange as well. You call the.
Oh, that is fantastic.
Yeah, I like it, Trev. You're right. A little pepper bite on there.
Oh man, yeah, Trevor. Yep.
So it's funny when I start thinking about 1782, and then, well, the funny part is the British were fighting the French in the Caribbean as they were fighting us in the 13 colonies too, which is ridiculous. They're fighting all over the world. But also that how alcohol was viewed back then, that it was safer than water. And it was also your calories.
Because it would kill whatever bacteria, right?
Like, basically, they got their daily rations, so they got their calories, and they also came back to the boat after they were in port that day, right? It's come a long way, how alcohol is viewed.
Man, this is very unexpected. I don't know that I've ever enjoyed a spiced rum on its own, and I would absolutely put this over a big block of ice and just sip. Yeah.
You know, Jessica, you'd say that you asked, it was like 36 hours ago, you need to get a spiced rum.
Mm-hmm.
Got it to you, right?
Mm-hmm. You did. You're a man of your word. This is you and
I didn't think it was possible. You know, I mean, it's got to go across the country in a day and a half. But
the reason I had one of the reasons I had said that to you was over the weekend I was experimenting, tinkering as I do, and one of the cocktails I came up with was a split base of the coconut rum with a different, I won't name the brand, spiced rum. That's not bad, but I certainly, and I won't name it because it's not bad, but it's certainly not something I would drink on its own. To me, it's something that belongs in a cocktail. So it was a split base of those two rums and some mint syrup, some orgeat, however you're going to say it, and mint syrup, orgeat, a little bit of lime juice. And I feel like there was one more thing that went in there. Maybe that was it. But, oh my God, it was absolutely outrageous. And so that's why I was like, I need your spiced rum for this. Like, I need to taste the Shipwreck spiced rum.
You got it.
Coconut.
Now you got it.
So excited.
Now I'm getting warmed up. It's almost 9 o'clock here on the East Coast. Third drink right here. You guys keep me on this all night. I don't know what I'll say.
Should probably let you call it a night. Your wife and your kids are like, "Daddy's at the office."
Listen, here's the thing. At this time, if Finn is still watching this, he's in trouble. So the kids are definitely asleep right now.
So then we have to really genuinely thank your wife so much for letting you have a late night at work to do this.
It's, you know, as anyone with kids know, it gets a little tougher in the summer when the sun goes down later and later.
Uh-huh.
In wintertime, it's like 5 o'clock and it's dark. Like, bedtime, let's go.
Get into bed. I remember that as a kid too. I remember one of my older cousins used to babysit me when I was a little kid, and if my parents would go out, and in the summertime, her rule was I had to go to bed at whatever time. It was like 7 o'clock or something ridiculous. Yeah. But it's like bright daylight out at 7 o'clock, and I thought she was like Cruella de Vil. I was like, you're so evil. But it was my bedtime.
You need the blackout curtains, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I can't get over how good this spiced rum is. This is.
And you know, usually if you taste the spice, even before you've had any cocktails or anything sweet, like your taste buds are even more open to it. Like when we're doing tastings, we do our straight white rum and then our spice first, and then move on to the flavors, just because you'll get a little bit more of the complexity sometimes.
Yeah, that's so yeah, if you were doing a tasting, if you were lining up your rums, what do you recommend as far as taste first, second? Like, what's your process?
I do get this question a lot. And now that there's 8 types, it's become a little more complicated. I almost did. Well, first of all, it would be the account interested in tasting all 8 of them. Like, I don't usually walk into an account with all 8 because it's like, whoa, we're doing a lot.
Yeah, people are gonna be hammered.
Usually these 4 are our best-selling 4, but we also have lime rum, coffee rum, our straight white rum, and what am I forgetting here? Oh, the mango, which I said before. Yes. Now I would start with the white just because it's clear, it's a pure rum, it's 1 year aged, and if you taste that after anything else, you're not going to get any of the complexity. But it's a nice, clean, tropical taste. It's 80 proof because it's straight white rum. We have to keep it so we're competing at least on the same level. And someone had even said that, did you leave some coconut in the tank? Which we did not. It has a tropical.
That's interesting, but it has a tropical note to it. Okay.
Yeah. You probably have to really know your stuff to have a clean palate and taste that.
And identify that. Yeah, it'd be interesting in like a completely blind tasting to see if somebody could nail it.
Yeah. Maybe it's the St. Kitts air, and then you you cork it, and then maybe somehow
It's coconut in there.
we clean the tanks out, guys. We clean the tanks out. Otherwise, it'd be a mess. It does smell like a different flavor depending on the day you come by.
Interesting. Okay.
So the white rum first, and then the spiced rum, and then after that, I mean, I would personally save the coconut rum cream till the end, but I would the vanilla and the coffee are similar, just because they're built to have kind of rich caramel notes to them. Our coffee rum is not a bitter coffee; it's more of like a butterscotch, sweetened up regular American coffee.
Okay.
So I mean, really, I think other than having the white and the spice first, and I would end with the coconut cream, is that I would just mix up the vanilla and the coffee. So other than that, you can't really do the middle wrong. I would do the white, the spiced, the coconut, the vanilla, the mango, the coffee, the coconut cream.
Oh wait, is there a lime?
And the lime, my God. See, I'm so sorry. I mean, you get me after 3 drinks here. And the lime. Which I did say originally, but I would put that in the middle as well, too, as far as more of the ones that we've really infused with a lot of flavor and have some pop to them as far as flavor goes.
It's really incredible to me. Like, it's really nice to taste. One of my problems with liqueurs, however we're going to say it in general, is so many of them have a chemical flavor to me. Yeah. You know, like they feel like they taste like plastic in some way, you know, and they just don't, I don't dig it. And with these, each of them that I've tasted, it just tastes so fresh. Like it really tastes like good, high quality, fresh ingredients. It's exactly what I want out of it, which is nice.
And I think that's kind of what the stigma of the whole industry is. It's almost like you, the fact that if you're in, well, before craft started, if you're infused, if you're flavored, you're basically cheap. You're artificial, you know? Right. And, I mean, I even go back to like when we first started this, and my guy friends were like, Brinley, buddy, you're doing coconut rum? Coconut rum. Like, really? That's sunscreen. Like, what are you doing coconut rum for? And I'm almost like, even though they all love it, they drink it now, especially that the stigma of the industry before was very much of like, it's suntan lotion or it's low proof artificial. And I think maybe part of that in our brains when we were coming up with this in St. Kitts and had the rum shop was why can't you do something that's like high quality and still infused and like real vanilla? Like why all of a sudden is it like it has to be? And I understand there's a movement towards like pure spirits, but how about a pure spirit that's infused with pure coconut? You know, like what? Right. That like, you know.
You guys nailed it. I mean, yeah. Well done.
So that's kind of, I mean, that's really where the whole idea was, but we probably didn't even know what it was in the beginning of just trying to upgrade the category and to step up. But
I feel like that's where greatness is found, right? Like you just go and you're like, you know what? I want to try this thing and I'm going to tinker with it and perfect it. And like that to me, that's where innovation comes in. And like, you can really create something great out of that. So I hope you guys keep doing that. Like, keep doing. Don't stop anything. Keep doing what you're doing.
We've changed the formula. I look back to these early days and think like how naive we were, you know, and how like naive and also perseverant we've been to stick with it through tough years.
Yeah, thank God. Yeah,
I know it's becomes a labor of love. I mean, any small business, family business does.
Yes,
but we've survived this far, and it's paying the bills now, and we get a cool spirit to drink at the end of the day. So we'll keep doing it, and I'm so honored. I'm so honored to be on this. We love your videos. My mother is.
Thank you so much.
Mom, hi, Mom. You're watching the whole thing right now.
Oh, hi, Mom.
I'm only going a block to get home. I'll be fine. Okay.
Well, I really appreciate you taking the time and going to such effort to send me a couple bottles that I have really been wanting to try, as you know, and haven't been able to get. And I just thank you so much. And hopefully we'll do this again sometime. This is great.
Jessica, it's been the best. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Trev Rose, listen, shoot me a direct DM or whatever you call it. We got to hook up one day. I got to give you anything you need because you're the man too.
That guy's awesome. Yes, Trevor's the man. Also, I have deep jealousy of Trevor because he can just buy whatever he wants of yours all the time. So yeah, we're all talking. There's a group of us who have YouTube cocktail channels. A lot of them are in the chat tonight, and we keep threatening to do a YouTube bartender meetup next year. So we'll keep you posted on that. I feel like Shipwreck should be part of that.
St. Kitts, right?
St. Kitts would be way better. Yeah, I love St. Kitts.
You could help us bottle in the line, maybe sip some coconut out of the tank unfiltered.
One day, Savidge Kitchen is definitely coming to St. Kitts. We're going to do a tour. It's going to be great.
Right? All right. I'll be there.
I love it. All right. Well, thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. And stay tuned for more. We'll see you soon. Cheers, friends.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody.